tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with the messenger of Thought on Knowledge. I want to do a quick broadcast tonight because I want to try to explain further what's going on in the nation from the commentary I received on my last month's broadcast and bring us up to speed on what we're seeing now in America and how a lot of us are coming in, well, to speak in terms and speak specifically on behalf of us in the conscious community, what's really being overlooked completely for whatever reason by you. I want to say we the people, ladies and gentlemen. They're not called climate lockdowns, by the way. I want to correct almost every news station in America at this point. We're looking at economic lockdowns. We're looking at some sort of not only power struggle at the tip top of the pyramid of power, but speaking in terms of political atmosphere, it's gonna happen. We're out of time. We have a loudmouth idiot running the country whom, for some anonymous reason, a lot of you have been unfortunately, are believing that these stimulus checks and these child tax credit checks, because of dumping more money into the economy, we can get it back to a point where we don't have to worry about things like this. That's the furthest from the truth. Yes, the economy has always been shit. Let's just look at it because the economy is not real. It's just a bunch of people that we keep believing that are powerful, setting forth their journey on what they like to call treasury, as well as economic departments of economy like banking, realty, big development, police, fire, as well as every one of our local entry-level jobs that we have in food service, supermarkets, retails, etc. And there's a lot of gaps in the workforce from my sociology and my research because, again, with evolution comes revolution. Um, a lot of us are transcending into understanding in which um, we want to take it into the communities, start socially and economically stabilizing ourselves as independent entities with real players in which want to get the game started, setting forth our own systems of education for our children in which we find important and in which we find suitable, and kind of diminish this idea of indoctrinated studies. And what I mean by that is, number one, we have let a lot of things go, speaking in terms of our political um, individuals like Congress, the president and their administration, all the way down to governors, the state and local level government, and we've let everyone just handle everything because that's what they've conditioned us to believe. They have degrees, they went to this particular place, they know these particular people, they've been referred by this particular person because they have this, again, this particular sort of pedigree, if you will, and we're just allowing continuously to instill so much trust because I truly believe that we really don't trust anybody. We're just going through the motions in America. You can correct me if I'm wrong here. It's that simple to which we can take a look at what we have in our communities. And again, I'm just going to use mine as an example because I'm sure a lot of other communities have different needs. So let's look at this piece by piece with an example that I would like to present. We are coming into a point in time where the workforce is no longer the go-to anymore. We have DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Lyft, and yes, they are like entry-level gigs. But these entry-level gigs, again, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're looking for entities in which work around our schedules of our personal lives. So let's look at these workforce positions that are now open. Are they doing so? No. Are they working around your schedules? Or obviously not. If they can't accommodate you, you're forced to do whatever you have to do to accommodate your employer. So, not saying that as a negative against any managers or shift leaders, you got to listen to what Master tells you to do, or you don't eat. So, that's not a diss, that's reality. So, don't take it personally. So, we need to take a look again in our communities. This is where social economics comes in. Where does what need to be for us to rise? And yes, it's easier said than done, but once an entire neighborhood or community, for example, let's say the entire city says, you know what, we're going to go with this group of people in our city and town because A, B, C, and D, Technically, they can't come in because we're our own entity. They would be breaking their own right, democracy or constitution that you keep telling me at my email. Again, democracy is purchased. It's not a privilege. Democracy is something you buy. Let's use a judicial example, right? Whatever. You get caught with drugs or whatever the case may be. Whatever. Even something as simple as a speeding ticket, you'll still get fined and or have to do some kind of 30-day program or whatever the case may be. That's not democracy. Even if you have everything in the right, if you're not willing to spend, I'm just using a small example, folks. We can go through examples all day, judicially speaking. That's not democracy. I'll use my own example 4 years ago. Got caught up in check fraud, put the money in the right places. I walk free. That's not democracy. That's a payday. Actually, that's fascism. So I really want to correct a lot of you that are telling me I'm not grateful for my democracy. If I had the right money, the right amount of money with the right amount of people, I would have the right amount of power. Therefore, I would have democracy. But I'm not grateful for something I've never seen and or experienced. So please excuse me, I disagree. So let's go over to the Constitution. The Constitution was truly written to protect military, police, fire, authority figures, as well as political, high-profile elitist figures such as athletes, celebrities, entertainers, news and information newscasters, and I can go on and on and on. Again, a constitutional amendment rights are bought. They are not a privilege. So again, let's get back to the community. Like I said here a million times, America, it's really that simple. If everybody chose to say this is not working in our country, so we, the people in this particular area, are going to do what we want to do, all we have to do is want to paramilitarize non-violently first and just get to it. A lot of you don't understand the program because I don't think I've ever said this straight up and out. But it's really been mentioned in the conscious community many times, in which if you really want a better life for not only yourself but your family and your community, it has to involve changing your form of the way you think, the way you feel. You have to understand also, metaphysically speaking, we are spirits having a human experience each and every day. And the more you continue to do things, you not only consume and utilize tools that dehumanize you, you're just giving them more power. I have to disagree with just about every single comment on here saying I'm a hypocrite because I don't use social media like the rest of you do. I'm not on this thing 8 hours a day or whatever. If I'm on break at work, I'm writing rhymes, I'm making beats, or I'm talking to somebody about doing something in the community. I am never on the colonizer's tool of mass dehumanization and demoralization, because when they wrote the Patriot Act, you let them come in, folks. Just read. A lot of you don't understand what I mean by that. Please read the Patriot Act. It's right in front of your face. But when you read it and see things you don't understand, please research the words that you're not understanding and the sentence you are reading or paragraph and type it in your Google machine. Punch it up. It comes out as individuals watching, controlling, and basically telling you what to think, what to do, what to say, how to feel, when to feel. That's all it is. Because let's look at the 14,000 plus social media platforms in which are only there to A, entertain, B, demoralize, deprincipize, like I said before, dehumanize you, as well as keep you on their political agenda. I'll use the last weapon in my arsenal at the desk of consciousness tonight. You all didn't read that transgender Bill of Rights the way I did. You saw something, and I understand it. You probably thought you were cheering for something that you truly thought was something that is groundbreaking. It's not groundbreaking because now you've given certain individuals that are possibly paid into this political agenda on a daily basis. You're pumping little Tommy and little Sally at 10 years old with hormones. That is not something to be proud of. And then the gay community might disagree with me, so where were you guys? This was your time to stand up and finally say something to a heterosexual government. This is inappropriate. This is inappropriate. These are children. They don't have the capacity to make these decisions. These are immature and neglectful parents that are only out to please the agenda and enjoy their glamorization and their addiction to attention and fantasy. This is what your internet is doing, by the way. If you're young bucks that don't understand, back in the early millennium, we were warning everyone, this is the final straw, this is the final agenda, this is the final objective, because this is what you are now living in. You don't understand. It's almost like a lot of you may not understand just rational, logical, and realistic perspective on what you are all saying and doing on social media, and you're taking it personally, number two. And I want to stress again, with I mean everything I say at the desk with the utmost respect to all of my viewers. I'm not downing you, I'm not speaking down to you, I'm trying to reach the heart chakra. If you keep believing in a two-faced turncoat flatfoot cocksucker like Joseph Biden, there's nothing more the conscious community can say to you. This man is doing everything in his power to destroy whatever we have to use, to keep buying time, to keep this message going. So as of right now, I deem it out of time, because Biden is doing whatever he can to walk out of the White House with his little precious payday. That's all Biden's doing, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's pumping stimulus money and overriding the Republican Conservative Party. Again, you guys cheer for that. Personally, I don't. I think both. I think the Republicans and Democrats are sleeping in the same bed together. That's what it's like at the desk. So I'll leave it there. But the more he overrides the dominating party on behalf of the 1%, we the people are going to get that um, blowback of the aftermath when this is all said and done. I wish you all a great night. I still stress to this very day, they have finally weaponized COVID. They want you to take the mask off so they can finally implement these lockdowns. I strongly urge you, do not fall into this political play and or elitist play, if you will. This will be the final objective, to finally administer as many days and months and years of a lockdown. If you laugh at this, I will see you on the battlefield. This is how serious this is getting, and you are not going to find that aspect on internet, because they will never ever tell you what is going on. So please, again, keep an eye on your bank accounts. I've taken 12 minutes of your time. I apologize, but then again, I don't, because this is extremely important. They've taken just about everything from you, but you don't see it because you keep consuming this luxury. It's not a luxury. It's a tool of control. And if you want to disagree, America, again, I'm not saying anything against you personally. I'm just pointing out some facts here that I thought the country should know. And if you want to keep going the route you're going, you keep thinking that your vote does something, while we say and have been saying for many years, it just signifies your obedience to the power structure. It does nothing more than that. You don't have control of the Electoral College. You don't have any money, so you don't have any power. All you're doing is signifying your obedience. When we can break off of this, focus on these communities that desperately need principles, morals, and some kind of an overall goal, in which is healthy, which is natural and rational, and get back to the humanity, because that's why we're giving birth and nurturing till they're 18 years old, the final generation. I'm out.